Hello everyone, my name is Uberswe and today we're taking a look at how to make a beginner iron farm. And all the items you'll need are listed right here, and I'll walk you through how to build this farm step by step later in this video. Now the thing that really makes this farm different is that we're using a toolbox as a filter. This is because a toolbox remembers what item was in the slot even if there's 0 items there. And each slot can have up to 256 items, so it's quite good for storage. It has a total capacity of 2048 items, which is more than a chest can hold. An andesite funnel is put on our toolbox, and this allows us to power wash our gravel, only allowing iron nuggets or flint to go into our toolbox. At the top of our farm, we have a waterlogged drill with some lava, which will generate stone, and then when it breaks, it generates cobblestone. The cobblestone then goes into our millstone to become gravel. And this is all powered using one single large water wheel. Now let's take a look at how to build this from scratch. Now the first thing we need to place down is a toolbox. The recipe for a toolbox is 2 golden sheets, a chest, a leather, and a cogwheel. Next we'll place an andesite funnel onto our toolbox like so. Then we're going to need some copycat panels. To make copycat panels, use zinc ingots on a stone cutter. As you can see, this will give you 4 copycat panels for each zinc ingot. Next we'll go ahead and place these copycat panels, one on either side of the andesite funnel, and then 2 spaces forward, just like so. Then by shift clicking, we can put a fan just like this. We want it to be facing inwards towards the andesite funnel. Now it's time to place our millstone, and this goes on top of our encased fan just like that. And then we can place our chute right on top of that. Now we're going back to copycat panels again, and I'm just going to place these one on top of the chute and then going one up. And then I just delete the one below the chute. If you're in survival, you will want to delete it using your wrench. Now I'm going to go ahead and extend these copycat panels out by 1 on each side, and we're going to place 1 copycat panel below like this. Now to place our drill, I'm going to hold shift and place it right between these 2 panels that we just placed here. By holding shift, I'm able to place it facing away from me. Next, we need to waterlog our drill. To waterlog the drill, just have a water bucket and hit the drill with it. You can now see the actual water is placed on the drill, and then it flows into this empty hole here. Now we'll place some more copycat panels here going up, and this is going to be able to hold our lava in place. This last copycat panel, I'll just shift click to place here, and then place another one there, remove the old one. And now we can get a lava bucket to place our lava. And as you can see, some stone has already formed, which our drill will later break when it's powered. And now it's time to hook everything up so we can power this thing. So I'll begin by placing an encased chain drive like this, and then we'll put a large cog right here. And the reason we need a large cog right here is because we want to make sure that our millstone is already running at 2 times the speed of everything else. And that's because the millstone is slower at crushing cobble to gravel than the drill is to drilling cobblestone. So if you don't have this running at twice the speed, you're going to have cobblestone spewing out from where the drill is up here. Now to hook up our drill, we're going to use some more encased chain drives. And I'll place 1 on top of the large cog and then 1 facing the chute right here. Although we do need to remove this copycat panel right there. And then just 2 more encased chain drives like so. And now everything is hooked up. Now to power this, all we need is 1 large cogwheel. This will output 512 SU, and we'll make sure to increase the speed a little bit from 4 RPM to make everything go a little bit faster. And we're going to make sure to use the full capacity of this water wheel. Now to increase the speed without using something like a speed controller, for example, we can just use cogs. And if we have a large cog going to a small cog like this, we're going to double the speed of the next large cog that we put here. So every time we do this, it doubles in speed. Now you could also use several adjustable chain gear shifts for this, but I feel like they're a little bit more complicated and you need electron tubes, so I felt like this was simpler. So we'll now double our speed from 4 to 8 to 16 and then to 32. And we can see that our iron farm is now working. Well, almost working. I did forget about an andesite funnel, but there we go. Now it's outputting the gravel, and the gravel is getting powered washed, and we're getting iron nuggets and flint. Now my toolbox was already set up with the filters, so maybe you're seeing like just some gravel like this. And if that's the case, you can flip the direction on this funnel here, And then we sit back and wait a little bit for some iron nuggets and flint to get power washed here. And once we see that some are there, we can flip back the direction on the funnel like so. And now you'll see that we have flint, iron nuggets, and gravel. And once you have that, you can flip the direction again on this funnel and open the toolbox. And then we can remove all the gravel filters that we have here. Just click on them to remove them. And then we'll set all the other filters in here to be flint or iron nuggets. And you can just drag and drop the same flint or the same iron nugget to set all the different slots. And click with an empty cursor to clear a slot. And that's all. Now you should have a very basic iron farm up and running. It's a bit slow, but you can use these concepts you've learned here to further expand this. Now I also provide this as a schematic. So if you have a schematic table, you can take an empty schematic and select the beginner iron farm and just hit the check mark here, and that will import the beginner iron farm. You can then take the schematic here, and you can see it's like a box, and you can place this down anywhere in your world, just like this. And if you're in creative mode, you can just click check here to print. But if you're in survival, then you're gonna need a schematic cannon. And the schematic cannon will need a chest next to it to have all the items that you need to schematic in. So we take our beginner schematic here, and then we can put this, and it will say out of gunpowder. So we need to get gunpowder. Of course, in survival, you will need to find this manually, and you can also get a book because that will be very helpful. So we'll take our gunpowder and we can add it into the cannon as fuel. And now you can see its gunpowder is at 100%. We still have 2,000 shots with a backup of like 25,600 shots. So now everything is ready. We can press pray, but it doesn't have any items, so it's not going to shoot anything. And yeah, we're gonna put our book in here, and that will give us a material checklist. And this material checklist will tell you everything you need. So we're gonna need 2 andesite funnels, a brown toolbox, 1 chute, 3 cogwheels, 15 copycat panels, 6 encased chain drives, 1 encased fan, 4 large cogwheels, a large water wheel, mechanical drill, and 1 millstone. And after you put some items in here, you can take your book again, like this, with the material checklist. And then it will check off the things you have already put in there, and it's only going to tell you the things you still need. I went ahead and gathered everything we needed, and we're now ready to press play on the cannon. So just click the play button right there. And as you can see, the cannon will now start building. And that ding you heard means the cannon is done. Now the cannon doesn't place any water or lava, so you'll need to place this by yourself. So back here I'm going to place a block of cobblestone and then some water to power the water wheel. And then we also need some water up at our drill back here. So we'll waterline the drill just like so by clicking on the drill. And then some lava above that here in this hole that we made. And finally, we're going to need some water where our gravel is being washed at the bottom. And you will of course also need to configure our toolbox just like I showed earlier, because currently it's going to have a bunch of gravel right there. Thank you so much for watching. That's going to be all for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe. And make sure to check out my Twitch channel as well and give me a follow, and make sure to stop by and ask any questions while I'm live. That's all for now, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.